Hi, welcome to the Jeff and Jerry Show. My name's Jeff. I'm the borough manager, and my co-host,
Jerry Lucia, Mayor of Mount Pleasant.
Gee, Jerry, you feel like you're on the other side of the room here, but
Well, you know what, Jeff? When you bring the whole team out, someone got to give up a seat.
yeah, that's right. You know, Jerry, we talk a lot about sports today. We do a lot at the high school, but this sport's a little different. You know, we do Little League too, but this is a travel team. And the dedication and commitment on a travel team is a lot different than some of the other sports we do.
Well, I remember in the Little League days, you'd go down to the Little League field. You had your games, if it was 3 a week or 2 a week, but it was right here at home, you know. These guys travel halfway across the country, it seems.
They're like a professional team.
Yeah, right,
taking those trips.
But they're getting educated, too. They're seeing outside of the box.
They're getting to play teams and kids from different areas, which is also good for this group here, so that they can play against different kind of competition.
Well, you know, that's what makes it so important too. That the competition is really great and hard, and they have to get up each game and bring yourself up a little bit higher to perform to their abilities.
Well, helping them to perform to their abilities is a good coaching staff and a good parents group. I think we want to make sure we add them in there. But
yes.
Today we're honored to have the head coach of this team, George Grippo.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you for having our team. We appreciate you guys coming down and taking the time to get our team a little well-deserved publicity.
Well, you know, George, you work for the Borough of Mount Pleasant. You're one of our police officers, and we talk a little bit all the time about how good the team's doing, and I always ask you, what's the scores, you know. It's amazing when you come back and tell me how many times you win and what the scores are. But you, as a coach, committed a lot of time and effort into being a coach of a team that travels and putting together this group of kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I have a good group of kids, obviously, what makes the team. Also have a great group of coaches and a great group of parents. We do a lot. We do everything from getting the field ready, ordering uniforms, booking hotels, booking tournaments that we go to, making sure our schedule coincides with everybody else's schedule. So it's a lot of work, but when you get the finished product and you succeed, it's well worth it.
Now, if I'm watching the show or listening to the show and I want my child to go into this direction to play baseball, what's one of the first things or a couple of things I need to do?
Well, the thing you need to do, I think, it depends what level you want your child to play in. I mean, obviously there's a level for each child to play in, which that's the great thing about baseball. This group here, we elected to play at basically the highest level you could go for a 10-year-old group. So it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of practice, and the players have to be physically gifted enough to play at this level, and not only from a physical standpoint, but also from a mental standpoint. They have to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it. And we're fortunate we have a good group of kids that we're able to teach them things that that you would actually teach older kids. And these kids are picking up on it, and we're playing in tournaments that are Major League Baseball rules. I mean, the bases are 5 feet longer than your average 10-year-old baseball groups. The pitchers have to pitch from a stretch. You can steal bases. You can lead off. So there's a lot of things that we're throwing at this group of kids. But so far they're succeeding. They're playing great baseball, and that's all you can ask for.
George, how often do you practice?
We practice 2 days a week, sometimes 3 days a week, depending on the weather. Of course, plays a big thing in it. But it's nice to have our own field, Jerry, because we can come down anytime. We also have use of an indoor facility free of cost. It has a little bit of a turf field in there. It has 2 pitcher's mounds in there, and it has also an indoor batting cage. So we're able to use that as well.
Where's that located?
That's down in the old Amstel Center. My
Okay.
brother-in-law rents part of the building out there, and he put in a nice baseball facility, and he was nice enough to let us use it anytime we want. So we take the boys down, and we do batting practice down there. We work some pitchers down there, and so on and so forth.
Now, your boys, do they change once they're 10-year-olds, then they move on?
Yeah, they move on. This year we're playing 10U. Last year we played 9U. Next year we'll go up to 11 and 12 and 13. But also this year we actually played some older teams to give our kids the extra competition.
So you'll keep the team together,
Yes.
but then you just go up the brackets from year to year to year.
Yes, you just go up to the next age level and so on and so forth. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, what age groups can you go up to?
In this travel ball, they have the whole way up to 18U. And obviously that's the high school level.
So if you think about it, these kids could possibly have been playing for 8, 9 years together.
Yeah, I mean, some of these kids have been with me ever since they started playing T-ball. And then obviously we moved up to coach pitch, and then, basically we're here now with the kid pitch. So I had a lot of these kids under my wing for, maybe 4 or 5 years. And we had some newcomers come in this year as well. And so, we're keep plugging along and going to get better each and every day.
In the travel league, in the travel circuit, it sort of is a little bit of a recruiting. You don't necessarily have kids just from Mount Pleasant. You have them from the area, right?
Yeah, that's correct. There's different ways to look at travel ball, and I've learned a lot over the last few years being involved in travel ball. You talk to a lot of coaches that are involved that play at the highest level of travel ball. You'll have a true travel team, which basically is a lot of your baseball clubs and your teams that go out and recruit players from other areas. We played in the tournament this weekend where we won a tournament up in Beaver, and the team that we played against had kids from Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania on their team. And then obviously there's a lower level where you just kind of keep your area together, which is good baseball as well. But we elected to take the extra step, if you will, and we were fortunate enough to put a good group of kids together like this that we're able to go to open tournaments for their age group, and that's basically the highest level of competition that you'll face.
Well, holding these kids together has to be, well, I would think it's a difficult part of your job, is to keep the kids motivated all together to be on the same team, satisfied to be on the team, deal with the parents to make sure they have the commitment from the parents. Is that a big part of it?
Well, it is, and a lot of people ask me that. It's a question that everybody asks: how do you keep the kids together? How do you keep every kid happy? But it's really kind of easy to do, because each kid sitting here today, they all want to be here. I mean, that's the thing. They all want to be here. They all want to learn. And technically, I could sit here and say we have a group of superstars, because really we do. But we don't look at it that way. We look at it as each kid's equal, and we always try to instill it in the kids that you're a piece of a puzzle. Each and every one of you guys are a piece of a puzzle. And at the end of the day, if we play fundamental baseball and do everything that we have learned to do, we put the puzzle together, it's going to be a pretty picture. And when you get a pretty picture, you're going to win baseball games.
George, now what's your record for this year?
This year we're 15-2. Overall, for the last 2 years, we're 47-7.
47-7
Yes.
in 2 years.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What really makes me feel good as a coach is the level of competition that we're playing.
Yes.
We're
yes.
playing at a high level of competition, an open level of competition. So that's a tribute to the boys' work ethic and the hard work that they put in.
How about some of the other facilities you go to now to play? You mentioned Beaver.
Yeah, we went to Beaver Valley. We played in a tournament. Mother's Day weekend, we played in a Mother's Day Classic tournament down in Pittsburgh. It was kind of throughout Pittsburgh. There was fields in Trafford. There was fields in Plum and Monroeville. We kind of bounced around. It was a really good tournament. There's 20 teams actually in our division. This weekend, like this past weekend, we went to Beaver Falls. We're going out to Hershey. We've been down to Bridgeport, West Virginia, which, those are overnight trips, things of that nature. So, we like to travel a lot because it gives us a chance to, go out and stay in a hotel and, get a swimming pool there, and the kids get to have some downtime and have some fun with their friends and, with the team. But also we get to go to different areas and play different baseball teams that we don't have to play every day. And it gives us that sense of urgency that we're going to go out and compete every day, and that's what we like about it.
Well, let's talk to some of the kids, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
There's a couple kids here today that I think you picked them randomly, so we're going to let them introduce themselves.
Ty.
Connor.
Okay, and you gentlemen are what age?
11.
10.
And have you played together for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like 3 years, 2 years?
2 years.
2.
So what made you decide to play for Coach Grippo and the Rockhounds is the name of the team?
Well, he invited me, and I knew I was, like, good and he would like me.
Okay. And Connor?
I started basketball here in Cole. He played for the Rockhounds, and I started practicing with them, and then I just became in the team.
So now, a lot of kids your age, you know, they're doing things with their friends, or they're out doing other things, or maybe playing video games. What brings you to the commitment to be on this team and do all the traveling and all the practicing?
Well, we practice a lot, so we get good. That's what we get to go travel.
Do you ever wish you didn't have to go to practice?
Nope.
So you could practice every day.
It's fun.
Okay, Coach, I think you could practice every day.
Yeah, these boys, you know, that's a tribute to them because, you know, we're practicing on a Friday night indoors, you know, and then a lot of kids are home and
Yeah.
doing their thing. And
Watching movies or something.
And when you get a group of 10-year-old kids and, you know, and 10, 11-year-old kids together that want to be there, that's half of the battle.
What position do you play?
First, pitcher and short.
Connor?
I play third, pitcher, and first.
Now, there's two boys that play 3 different positions. Is that normal for the whole team?
Well, you know, when we first get together, we don't guarantee any kind of position-wise, any kind of playing time. I mean, our philosophy is you have to earn your position, wherever that may be. If you're a pitcher, or if you're a third baseman, if you're a center fielder, wherever you're going to help the team best is where we put the kids. We like the kids to be acclimated with different positions because when you start changing your pitching rotation, obviously you're going to have to pull a kid maybe off a shortstop to pitch, so you have to have another shortstop coming in. The luxury with this team is I got 10 kids on this team, and all 10 of these kids could pitch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, when you go to a tournament and you have the luxury of pulling a kid out of your pocket at any given time, you have confidence on the mound, that definitely helps you.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate, George. I'm listening to the show, and I say to myself, you know, I don't want my boy to play and have to be that kind of commitment. He's almost like he's a professional. I just want him to go out there and have fun. How do you respond to parents that maybe look at this and say, this is like a little professional team?
Well, you know, earlier, as I said, there's a level of baseball for everybody. And when you want to play at this level and you want to compete at this level, you got to put the time in. You know, we only take 2 months off out of the year. Once our season's over in August, we give them a little bit of downtime, but we practice once a week in the fall outside until the snow flies. And once the snow starts flying, we give them off until January. Then we're back in the gym at January practicing. You know, this isn't for everyone, but there is baseball for everyone. That's the nice thing about the game. You know, if you want to take the game serious and you want to go to the next level and compete at the next level, a team like this is where you want to be. And if you don't want to compete at the next level, that's fine too. You know, it's up to you and it's up to your parents and up to your ability of what level you want to compete at.
The kids that you have here now, and I know you don't have a crystal ball and you can't look forward, but I'm going to guess that based on the record and your idea of you want the best of the best on your team, out of the 10 kids or 11 kids, I'm not sure how many you have.
We carry 10, and then
10.
I have a couple alternates.
Chances are these boys are going to play high school baseball and probably go on to college.
I would hope so, you know, and that's one of our goals. It's not only about this level, but, you know, we try to prepare the boys for the next level as well. We try to do things, and, you know, we like to win ball games, but also at the end of the day, I want to see the 10 months that we're together, I want to see each and every kid succeed. I want to see each and every kid improve, whether it's at one aspect or 2 aspects of the game. And at the end of the day, if we could accomplish that, that's a goal met.
Jeff, let's have the other guys introduce themselves, and then I'll take care of the back row.
Okay.
I'm Cole.
Cole?
I'm Quinn.
Quinn?
I'm Anthony.
Anthony.
Ronnie.
Speak up.
Ronnie. Dane. Dane. Brady. Levi.
Okay, now, boys, are you having fun playing under these kind of, and I don't want to call it restrictions. I just want to call it commitment. Are you having fun playing this kind of ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would also think it's fun to win.
Yes.
Well, that's
I mean, we talk about having
makes
fun.
it a lot easier.
Yeah,
You know, when these kids, you know, we left here Sunday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get home till 9:30 at night. We played 3 games, and it was a hot day on Sunday, and you know, and it was my birthday, and these guys gave me a great present.
Yeah.
And
How old are you, George?
we don't want to go there. But not as young as these guys.
Well, wait, I have a question for the guys. Does the coach still run the bases fast?
Does he do sprints? Does the coach
Does he
do sprints?
sprint?
No.
No.
Well, we need to change. We need to.
If he's trying to get a donut, then
Yeah.
Then he runs.
I love
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah, I see.
But no, I mean it. You know, when you go to a tournament and you know at the end of the day they win and you see the kids smiling and you just see the kids between games, you know, sitting on a blanket and you know just talking to each other and we're playing a game about what the downtime, you know, and going away and staying overnight. You know, people don't understand why do you take a 10-year-old group of kids 3-4 hours away? Well, because they want to do it,
Yeah.
and it's enjoyment. You know, it's an enjoyment.
Well, you know, teams, you almost become like brothers. You know, and so teams become close to each other.
Absolutely. I mean, these kids are all friends. I mean, we brought a group of kids together that, you know, that go to different schools. You know, and when they get older in high school, they're going to be competing against each other. But at the end of the day, the friendship is what's most important.
Where do you see this team going, George?
Well, you know, Jeff, I like to say the sky's the limit with these boys. I mean, you know, we've improved from last year to this year, and hopefully we'll improve this year to next year. And if we stick together and we keep doing the right things and play fundamental baseball and keep learning, you know, good things are going to come.
Statistics aren't necessarily important to everything, but team play is.
Absolutely.
But let's talk a little bit about statistics. The best pitcher you have, how fast can he throw?
Ty here probably throws 61, 62
That's miles an hour.
miles an hour.
So if you were to take that pitching speed and move it to what a professional field would be like when he gets older, how fast can he throw?
You know,
If he continues.
if he continues, wow, he'll be able to pump it up there. I mean, this equation here, I'm probably guessing it's in the 90s from you know the 46 feet to the professional level. If you would do the calculation, that would be a good guess.
So a lot of professionals can't hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's
Is it
tough.
hard for other teams to hit?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, all my kids are good pitchers, and these two are my number 1 and 2 pitchers sitting here to the left of me. And over the weekend, you know, we played four baseball games over the weekend, and in 4 baseball games, we only had 4 walks. So for 10-year-old kids throwing all that time and having 4 walks,
Yeah, that's amazing.
that's amazing.
That is amazing.
A
And
lot of strikeouts, George?
a lot of strikeouts. You know, we played. We played upwards over 50-some games over the past 2 years as we've been together, and I probably haven't seen a kid their age probably throw as hard as these two. And we're fortunate to have them, and we're fortunate to have all these other kids to play their positions the way that they do. So, again, they're all a piece of the puzzle, Jeff, and it comes together.
How about hitting? When you guys play, obviously I don't think you're giving up too many runs if the kids can throw upwards of 90 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour, but translates to 90 with everybody else who watches professional baseball. How about hitting? What's the scores usually?
Well, we put up a lot of runs. I mean, you know, we put up a lot of runs. You know, for example, we played in a championship game, and you know, we got a lot of big boys on this team. And when Beaver Valley's pitcher came out to the mound, he was bigger than any other kid I had, and he was out there warming up, and he was popping a mitt, throwing probably almost close to what these guys throw. But our kids are so accustomed to hitting that because when we throw batting practice to them as coaches, we're throwing hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not lobbing a baseball, and you know, as far as hitting goes, we do a lot of tee work. You know, we work on the tee a lot. We do a lot of soft toss. We do a lot of basic stuff. You know, and you know, I always preach to the kids, if you put the barrel on the ball, good things will happen. And they all know how to do that.
So what's the average score of a game?
Well, guys, I think our lowest score we scored all year was about, 10 runs maybe? 10, 12 runs would probably be our lowest score.
How many innings do you play?
Well, that depends. I mean, sometimes 3 or 4. You know.
10 runs in 4 innings.
Well, we've got upwards of 16 plus in 4 innings as well.
Now, is that the normal length of a ball game?
Well, it's a 6-inning game, but they go by run rules. You know, so many runs after 3 innings, so many runs after 4 innings, and so on and so forth. You know, but when you're playing when you were playing in the tournaments against competitive teams, it goes the length. Because
Has your reputation preceded you?
well, you know, a lot of people have came up to us and said, you know, I remember you guys from last year, and you guys have a nice baseball team, and it's always good for the kids to know that and hear that. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you win a tournament, you have some coaches and the director of the tournament coming up to you and saying, we'd like to have you guys back. You got a nice organization and a good group of kids. That's what it's about, and that's what makes you feel good.
You know, just as an observation, when we started the show, the kids came over to the pavilion. We're underneath the pavilion because it was raining. Very respectful kids, very, very organized, very polite. I mean, it's impressive, George.
You won't find a better group of kids, in my opinion, and I'm probably biased to saying that because, you know, I treat them all like my son. But, you know, one thing we instill in the kids is when we step between the lines, it's time to play baseball. Now, after practice, you want to goof around a little bit and, you know, play a couple games, whatever. But when we're here to practice, let's focus for an hour and 45 minutes. And, you know, if we can continue to do that, we'll continue to be successful.
Is he tough?
Yeah.
Is he tough? Do you like to have a tough coach, or would you rather have an easy coach?
Tough.
You know, and I think good kids respect tough coaches. I think even tough teachers or tough mentors, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
They want direction. They want people to follow.
when you're involved in a team sport, obviously you have to have discipline. You know, especially with a group of 10-year-old kids.
Yeah.
You know, because it's kind of a trickle-down effect. When 1 or 2 start messing around, then you got 8 or 9 messing around, and then you're not going to get your job accomplished at the end of the day. But you know, when you have a good group of kids, as I said earlier, that wants to be here, that wants to learn, it's a little bit easier. And you know, when they make a mistake, we tell them, you know, what they did wrong, whether it be this, that, or the other. We tell them what they did wrong, and there's times that each and every one of these kids has taken constructive criticism, and that's part of sports. I mean, if you can't deal with that, or if you can't cope with that, then you're not going to be able to play sports. And all these kids understand it.
George, you know, I would also mention the parents. The parents are a big part. You have a parent organization behind you, right?
Yeah, and if it wasn't for my parents, I mean, the traveling, and it's a lot of expenses, you know,
Yeah.
paying for hotel rooms.
Oh,
They
yeah.
pay for hotel rooms themselves. I got parents that will bring food to tournaments for the kids, you know, coolers of Gatorade and water for the kids. You know, I got parents that won't hesitate to buy things for the kids. So that's a big thing. And another big thing is I got a group of parents that buy into the system. They don't say, you know, my kid isn't playing here, my kid isn't playing there, my kid isn't playing much as this kid or that kid. And, you know, when you have a group of parents can accept their kid's role, it'll carry over to the baseball field.
That's good.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because that's hard to find.
Well,
It's
what
really
I
hard to
like
find.
to see is the way they sit here, and there's no talking. They're listening. You have them well trained, and
I'll tell you, it's amazing. It is amazing to sit here with this many 10-year-olds and you don't hear a peep.
yeah.
Well, that's a tribute to them, guys. That really is.
Well, it's also a tribute to you and your coaching staff. I mean, that's respect. It really is. When you asked them, when you brought them over here, you could see they respected you, and that's a tribute to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
How many coaches do we have, George?
I have 4 coaches on my staff, and then I have a scorekeeper as well. But when we're at practice, Jerry, when you have a group of 10, we try to break things down in practice
Yeah.
in different groups. So if I need a little bit of help from a dad or 2, they'll just say, "What do
They'll
you need me
jump
to
in.
do?" They'll jump in. You tell them
Yeah.
what we need to do because we try to run circuits at practice and keep everybody occupied so we don't have too much downtime.
That's good.
So let's talk a little bit about if I want to come watch a game. I mean, you got to be one of the better teams in the area. If I want to come watch a game, when do you usually play?
We play the Westmoreland County Travel League, and we play doubleheaders on Sundays. And we have a game this Sunday at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And we also scrimmage during the week. Sometimes we'll call teams up, and we'll do controlled scrimmages to where you might start out with a runner on first and second with one out, and just do like different scenarios against a different group of kids, different teams. So we do a lot of that during the week, and then we practice during the week as well.
Is there a schedule on the website anywhere?
There's a schedule on our Facebook page,
And Facebook is
Rockhounds Baseball.
Rockhounds Baseball. And this facility is in Bridgeport, right next to the Sportsman's Club?
Yeah, the facility is actually owned by the Bridgeport Sportsman's Club, and we decided we wanted to try to find our own facility. That way we don't have to fight with teams as far as practicing in games. We can kind of practice and do whatever we want to do. So we came down to Bridgeport and spoke to their, I guess you would call it their officers at a meeting and asked them about the field, and they were nice enough to say, guys, whatever you want to do, you guys can lease it. And our lease is free of cost. They don't charge us anything to lease the field. And we do all the
The
fixing.
maintenance, yeah.
We do all the maintenance ourselves.
Beautiful field.
I mean, when we first got here, there was actually nothing on that field. And we did everything. We put dugouts up, we put fencing up, we brought in about 95 ton of infield mix to do the infield. We put a pitcher's mound in, and so we did a lot of stuff.
Well, if you want to support the team, there's also sponsorships I think you could do in the beginning of the year, and they can contact you when they're ready to do that kind of stuff to support the team.
Absolutely. Without the sponsorships, we wouldn't be sitting here talking today.
Yeah, sponsorships mean a lot.
They're big, and we have great sponsors. I mean, and they're happy to sponsor us, and we're happy to have them. I mean, that's just awesome.
Well, these boys have been so quiet, though. I do know, because I think we heard it earlier, there's a chant they do, right? That they do. Did they do that before every game, or when do they do that?
They do it before every game, and they do it if we win, which means they do it a lot.
yeah. So they know pretty good. So let's get the boys. If we can bring them up here, we can bring them around here.
Guys, go ahead.
Here, boys, we're going to make it. We're going to. Now listen, we're going to face the camera so everybody gets to see this, and I'm going to hold the microphone like this, and we're going to go ahead and whoever wants to start that.
Who are we? Rockhounds! Who are we? Rockhounds! Who are we? Rockhounds!
There you go. And I tell you, that would fire anybody up. You right, George? You know.
Let them know who we are.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, you are gentlemen. That's what I want to call you. You have a nice team. You guys are very good kids. George, you're doing a fine job, George. As a coach, you should be commended as a coach, and all your coaches for spending time with the boys, and really they're good kids.
It brings back my youthful days.
Yeah, Jerry.
All I can say is good luck for the rest of the year. Be healthy. Go get them, and we'll be down to watch some games. too.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. What do we say,
Yeah.
guys, to them for coming down?
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, if you have a chance to see the Rockhounds and visit the Rockhounds, this is a great team to watch for little kids. This is true sports, Jerry.
Yes.
These are kids who are playing because they love to play.
Yep.
And they're playing because and they're committed to playing. And that's what I think people should pay attention to and really support. This is the ultimate in children's sports, I think.
Just last message here. Look at the gloves.
All lined
They
up like
even
that.
line 'em up
I'm not
in
sure they
order.
can see it. We're gonna let the boys did this when they came to the pavilion.
Funny story, because their first day of practice, Coach Firmstone, who coaches the high school team, would like to say congratulations to them for having a wonderful season, and it's not over yet. But Coach Firmstone says, boys, I'm going to teach you how to put your glove down from day one, and from day whatever, we want them that same way. And as you can see, they learned. That's how we put the glove down.
That's very impressive. So for Jeff and Jerry, thanks for watching the show, and we'll see you again next time.